Hey there, I'm Jenny Mahar from Hypothyroid Chef, and today I'm going to show you how to make two of the easiest, healthiest frozen desserts ever. Strawberry banana ice cream and a tropical pina colada version with pineapple, banana, and coconut cream. These are so simple and refreshing. There's no added dairy, no refined sugar, and no ice cream maker needed. Just real fruit, a food processor or a blender, and a few minutes. So let's jump in. All right, so all it takes is some really simple ingredients, and you will need some kind of appliance to blend your ice cream. You can either use something like a food processor. This little mini chop works really well. If you have a Yo-Nana's, this is like the dream machine for an ice cream. Or you can use a high-powered blender with a tamper, because you'll probably need to kind of work it in around the blades while you're blending. But we're just going to get our fruits prepped and frozen, and that's about it. All you need are bananas, strawberries, a ripe pineapple. We've got some optional garnishes. I'm going to use a little bit of coconut cream, which you can also just use a regular can of coconut milk, and that's like the top creamy part. And in the pina colada version, we are going to use just a touch of honey to kind of bring all those flavors out and let them pop. And then, yeah, you just need dishes. And it is kind of one of those things that you do want to eat like right as you make it. You can freeze ice cream, but it does tend to set up quite hard in the freezer. So let's go ahead and get our ingredients prepped, and then we can make our ice cream. Okay, so one of the most important ingredients that you need for an ice cream are bananas. And honestly, the riper the better. These are a little bit less ripe than is ideal, but they'll still be great. And I guess the plus side of that is that they're a little bit lower in sugar and higher in those prebiotic resistant starches that our gut just loves. But the frozen bananas are really what make the ice cream super nice and creamy. So we're going to use 2 bananas in each of these different flavors. So I'm going to chop and freeze 4 bananas. And we just want to cut them up into chunks that are small enough that they'll blend up nice. And using the Yo-Nana's, you definitely need them to be small enough to fit in there if you have something like that. Now I've got a sheet pan lined with parchment here, so we can go ahead and pop our fruit onto that. And when we're done, we'll just pop it in the freezer. Now, if you have frozen bananas on hand, great. If you have frozen strawberries, frozen pineapple, that's certainly a really easy way to make this even faster and easier. But we'll go ahead and chop up some fresh fruit. So as I mentioned, we've got 4 bananas here. We're going to cut up about 2 cups of fresh strawberries. You can, of course, use frozen as well. And then we'll cut up our fresh pineapple. And each of these 2 flavors, we're going to make about a pint of each. So depending on appetites, that could be anywhere from 2 to 4 servings. And while we're at it, I might as well show you how to chop a fresh pineapple. So we're going to chop the top and the bottom off first. So we have a nice flat surface. I like to use this flexible 6-inch boning knife for jobs like this. It just has a little bend to it, so it's a little bit easier to work around the fruit. And I'm trying to go in just as deep as I need to get those little brown prickly parts off. All right, so once we've done that, we're just going to cut down along that circular core in the middle and go down on all 4 sides. And that's all there is to it. Now you can take these slabs and cut those into like bite-sized chunks. And this should be just about enough for our ice cream. All right, so we're ready to freeze our fruit. Once everything's chopped, you just want to spread it out on a parchment lined tray if you're using fresh fruit, and we'll just put it in the freezer until it's frozen solid. That's how we're going to get that really nice creamy sorbet-like texture. No ice crystals, no mush. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this in the freezer, and I'll see you back here in about 4 hours, or maybe I'll leave it in the freezer overnight. We'll see how much I can get filmed today. All right, so we've got our fruit frozen and we're ready to make our first flavor of nice cream. This one is just a classic strawberry banana, and for this one I'm going to use my Yonanas machine. This thing is actually pretty cool. It was a gift when my son was young, so it brings back some fun memories because he loved to use this with me, and then it was just a great way to, you know, get him to eat some fresh fruit. But I'll show you inside. It's just got this cone with like blades on it, and then you can feed the fruit into this tube, and then it comes with this tamper. So you can also kind of like press the fruit down into there, and it comes out like soft serve. And the nice thing about this is you don't have to add any additional liquid or anything like that. Now, they do recommend, and this is just kind of a tip when you're making nice cream, they do recommend leaving your frozen fruit out for about 10 minutes to soften it just a little bit before you, pulverize it in the Yonanas machine. And that's also going to come in handy too, whether you're using a mini food processor or a high-speed blender. You can also always, if you're in one of those like a processor or a blender, you can also add a little bit of dairy-free milk if needed to kind of pulverize things up. But I find for the best flavor and texture, that really nice, creamy, like sorbet-like texture, just the fruit and let it thaw like just a tiny bit. We still want it frozen, but just a little bit softened so the machine has a little bit easier time. So we'll go ahead and just feed our strawberries and bananas into here. That's basically all that's in this. All right, so that's all there is to it. Yeah, this is like just a real fruit soft serve machine. So we can go ahead and serve this up. And it's just a lot like a fresh fruit sorbet. Lots of amazing fresh fruit flavor. The nice thing about the Yonanas is I feel like you can get it a little bit firmer because, the machine is sort of made for it. So you get like a nice scoopable texture. So let's put a little garnish on this and give it a taste. I'm gonna top this with some coconut whip from So Delicious. It's a really great dairy-free topping that you can find in the freezer section. And it's not paleo, but it is gluten-free, dairy-free. It's got a pretty clean ingredient list, and it's just one of those things that can kind of help us be able to enjoy certain things like, a frozen whip topping, certain desserts without having to whip our own coconut cream. I think on this, I'm gonna do some dehydrated strawberries for a little color and some cacao nibs, just for a little bit of chocolatey crunch. This looks so pretty. Let's see how we did. That is so good. And it's so creamy. That's the crazy thing about it. You do have to use bananas to get that creamy texture, but it's just amazing what you can do using just fresh fruit. That's it. All right, next up is my personal favorite, pineapple banana coconut ice cream. So this one's inspired by a pina colada. It tastes like a tropical vacation. And for this one, we're gonna use my Cuisinart mini prep. So we're just gonna combine our bananas with our frozen pineapple. And you might need to work in batches here depending on how big of a batch you're gonna make. You can kind of get an idea here for how much fruit makes how much nice cream. Now to that, we're gonna add just a little bit of coconut cream, about a 1/4 cup. And this is a can of coconut cream. It just really is like primarily that fatty, creamy portion of the coconut milk, but just a can of regular coconut milk will work for this. You can put it in the fridge overnight to separate that cream from the coconut water portion of the coconut liquid. But this is just gonna give it more tropical flavor and add a little bit of extra creaminess. And then to this one, I do find that just a touch of honey really makes those sweet flavors pop and brings out that pina colada vibe. So we'll just put a bit of honey in here for just a touch of sweetness. If we need to, we can add a little spritz of lime juice, but we'll give it a taste first. So we've got all our ingredients in there. That's it, we're just gonna blend it up. And this is pretty typical, if you're using a food processor, you're probably gonna have to stop, scrape down the sides, and kind of, tamp it down to continue pulverizing it. And just keep going and it'll eventually start to get really nice and smooth. Same thing with a high-powered blender. You will need to use that tamper to kind of work the fruit through the blades. Gonna add just a little more pineapple here. Kind of try to get some of those bigger chunks down there. Okay, getting really close here. Oh, that looks so delicious. And as you can see, like this method, it does, it is a little bit softer versus the Yo Nanas where it comes out more like a sorbet texture. All right, I think we're there. This smells so delicious and tropical. I'm not gonna scoop this one because I can already tell it's just a little bit too soft, but still got that really delicious frozen treat texture. And for this one, I think we'll just garnish with a little bit of fresh mint just to give it some color. Maybe we'll do just a little bit of pineapple too, just for fun. Ooh, this is so fun and cheerful. I just love this color. All right, look how yummy that looks. And we'll go ahead and give her a taste. This is like a frozen whipped pina colada in a bowl. It's so absolutely delicious. You're gonna love this one. I wish I had a little paper umbrella to stick in there. That'd be perfect. All right, so there you have it. 2 delicious, super simple, quick and easy to make, packed with nutrients, frozen treats that are naturally sweet. They're totally dairy-free and super satisfying. You're gonna love these. I love these kinds of recipes because they're the ones that help me feel like I'm not missing out, even when I'm eating for healing, even when I'm eating for nutrients and to support my health. We all need a little ice cream sometimes. It's just a wonderful option that's kid-friendly, it's family-friendly, it's quick and easy. You can make it even more convenient by using pre-frozen fruit, and just really hard not to enjoy something like this. If you're looking for more feel-good treats that fit your thyroid-friendly lifestyle, I've got something special for you. It's my brand new thyroid-friendly pantry snacks and foods guide. This is full of grab-and-go options, including my favorite dairy-free store-bought ice creams, because we all need a little ice cream in our lives, right? Even if we're avoiding dairy or sugar or have health-related dietary restrictions. So you can grab your free copy of that at hypothyroidchef.com/pantry, and I'll put the link for that in the video description as well. I'll also include the link to the printable recipes for both of these nice creams, and I'll also include links for some of the equipment that I used today in case you're interested in adding something like that to your kitchen collection. All right, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm Ginny Mahar, your thyroid health and cooking coach, wishing you happy cooking, happy thriving, and the best of health. See you next time.